Alright. I think we running. One exception about my audio. I think. Let's see, 3 and 4. Could be the Rode mic. And 2 could be Streaming is easy. That's interesting. I got one microphone working and one not. Let's try. So it looks like my level should be good. And that should come in 1, 2. Do it quick. Alright. Hello, Turbo. Some assembly required. Streaming is so easy. Trying to understand why my SM58. There we go. My levels were cranked down. So if I talk like this close, you'd be able to hear both microphones, which I'm sure is crazy. But this one will only be used when I'm at my desk. This is an IKEA pinball machine. It is made of 100% styrofoam with some fun little veneer to make it look like it's actually birch, but it's definitely 100% IKEA. I would not trust putting any weight on it. Just me, personally. So where are we at? We are here. I have finished the assembly, as you can maybe see. Hold on. Oh, I gotta start IV cam. Hold on. All over the place. So unprepared. There we go. Boom. Could you imagine an IKEA pin? Okay. I hope the audio is not crazy. I think, pretty sure, I have the audio disabled for the camera, the IV cam here. Okay, I think we're good. So this is the rotisserie that I built. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. I'm still waiting on a few parts to come. So I've got this piece here that's gonna go there, and then I got a essentially a pipe mounting bracket that they use in the hydraulic industry for like holding oil lines and stuff like that, but it's made for 1-inch diameter, which is what this shaft is, and that'll be what I use as a brake mechanism to keep this from spinning. I've got these 1/4 by 20 thumb screws that I'll use to be able to tighten and loosen that brake or clamp or whatever you want to call it. And that'll lock in my rotation angle. But for right now, I am using one of these phone holder thingies because it's just how creative I am. That keeps it from rotating while I work on it, so I don't dump all this stuff all over the table. And then, so this is my own custom design on this rotisserie. It's made so that it's pitched at 6.5 degrees when it's in the rotisserie. At the front here, you see we got the hangers that fit in the slots perfectly, and they just use these toggle clamps to hold down in place. I custom designed some brackets that allow me to shift those in and out based on the width of the playfield that I have in here. And, you know, there's the adjustability right here too. But that gives me like the ultimate flexibility, so I can just like slide it back and forth down the extrusion depending on the playfield width and where these hangers are located. And yeah, so those turned out really good. I'm happy with that. Thank you. Thank you, appreciate it. So, and then at this end, this is also my own design. These are brackets that you would use for a gate, like a fence gate door latch assembly. So all it is just that latch assembly, and then I created my own kind of like safety lock that I can't really get off there one-handed right now. So it's just a spring. Hold please. This is really hard to do one-handed. So it's just a spring that locks in there, and then when you pull the playfield out, this would come back and let you pop it out of there easy. And then you can adjust that again based on the width of your playfield on the location where you need to have these. So that is that. You set the phone down 1 second. Get this back in its place. So I'm really happy with how the rotisserie turned out. Seems to be working and doing its job. So, so far where I'm at with the whitewood, I started just plopping some posts in, and figuring out what I screwed up and what I didn't screw up. So, for instance, like I've got all of my my posts in for my slings. So those are kind of good to go. They're mostly hand tight. I got most of my mini posts in for my inlanes. You can see those there. And over here. And then I started like kind of working my way up and realizing where my mistakes were. So like right here, you can see on the bottom side I have T-nuts, and that's as far in as this one goes. And that's because I ordered the wrong type of post that has the threads stop like a quarter of the way shy of the bottom of the post. So like, take a look at these here. The threads stop before where I need them to. Because when I'm threading it into that T-nut, you can kind of maybe see there, the T-nut kind of comes up halfway through the hole. And I'd need to have my threads at least far enough on that post to allow me to thread all the way in. So that's where I ordered a whole bunch of new posts that allow me to do so. First time chatter. Thank you for following. Negligent Cons, nice. Oh, wow. What a nice, wonderful promotion. This is lovely. Boom. Drop the band hammer. I was like, oh man, that's a really long chat. Nope. Fake. So anywho, I ordered posts that have the threads run the full length. And then same goes for my 832. So I got those. And then these are also 832, but they have a little bit longer stud on the bottom. So if it's going to be a shot that's like really attacking this post nonstop, like potentially this one here, then I can thread a nylock nut on the bottom side just to make sure it never budges. So yeah. So what I'm going to start out by doing is by going one by one through and replacing all the ones that I can't thread in all the way. So like these guys here. And it'd be nice if I had a holder for this thing. Nope. This isn't easy. What about... Nope. Lean against some posts here, maybe? Yeah, that's close enough. I just need to make sure this isn't gonna rotate on me. All that extra weight. Hey, that's good enough for you. Kirk, yeah, no kidding. Pinball's super easy. You order all the parts that you think are the right parts. Lo and behold, they're not. That's the fun here. You know, $50 in posts later, you get the right ones. I'll just pocket these as I take them out. So then these are the ones that I have already fitted with my silicone washer on the bottom. And look at that. Nice and flush with the playfield. Doesn't get much better. I'll just get them all finger tight for now. And then I'm gonna continue with the 832 and work my way around with those. This is the whitewood. The artwork, I haven't even started the artwork yet. I'm definitely not gonna do stickers. I would like to find somewhere that can actually print onto the whitewood, well, onto the blank playfield. And then I'll clear coat it myself, or maybe they offer clear coating services, I don't know. I haven't even started figuring out artwork. Right now I'm figuring out where I've got all the shots figured out where they are, but now is the point where I get to finally physically test them and make sure they shoot all right. I'm pretty hopeful that it'll translate well. This all started off in Visual Pinball, and I used that to experiment with layouts and test like shot geometry. And then that transferred over to Fusion 360 to make sure everything physically meshed on the playfield. And then with the Fusion 360, I was able to create the tool paths for the holes and everything, and then cut it out on the CNC. And now I'm here. You and like probably 80% of pinball collectors. But for me, I'm not gonna wait around for a manufacturer to hopefully make one when there's a real possibility that it may never happen. Uh-oh. Popped out a T-nut. Popped a nut. Just gonna hold that one in place until I get the new one threaded in. There we go. Yeah, so like, I've always thought a Harry Potter pin would be, I mean, perfect, right? The theme, everything, you can do so much with it. And you can wait around and maybe hand a manufacturer a fat 12 G's for it, if it ever happens. Or I'll build it myself and put in all the hours to do it and save some money. And hopefully do it justice, which I'm hoping I will. I at least want to do it justice for myself, but everyone's gonna have their own opinions. Thanks for the follow, Cat Makes, appreciate it. My alerts aren't coming through. Let me troubleshoot that real quick. That, it takes a long time to do this stuff. What am I using for? That 1 through 4. I think. Yeah, pretty. Yep. All right. Who knows? I'm kind of thinking maybe there's a chance that I do this right and somehow she catches wind of it and somehow doesn't sue me and then somehow says, you know what, pinball would be cool for my license. I'm gonna do it. And then she calls up a manufacturer and says, hey, will you guys make me a Harry Potter pinball machine? I saw this really cool one that somebody built themselves and I think it would be a good fit for my license. And they'll be like, yeah, sure, we'll design you one. I think that would be sweet. I don't even want it to be my design. I mean, it'd be cool if it was my design, but I'm not trying to go after that. You know? The way I've designed this thing is there's too much going into it that no manufacturer would ever make it. It's probably not a mass producible design. But still, if it sparks a conversation between Rowling and a manufacturer, I'm all for it. That's what we live for. Oh, I'm with you. I mean, like, I don't want to like take brand allegiance or anything like that. I have some of every manufacturer in my collection, but I think to do a true world under glass, something that's really well polished, it would have to be JJP. But who knows? If Stern did it, they would do like just like any of their other ones, like they would rush it through to get it produced by a certain date and maybe not commit as much time to the design as they should. I don't know, I feel like they all kind of start to feel the same to me after a while. Exactly. I mean, but in all fairness, JJP's last few games haven't been loaded with sculpts either, so you can't guarantee that that would be the outcome there. Who knows, maybe with the with all the changes in management there, that there might be a willingness to maybe put some more dollars into the finished product and making it look like a world under glass again, like they did with Wizard of Oz, Hobbit, even Wonka. I mean, I think that's kind of right on the edge of when they started to kind of lay off of all the extra sculpts and stuff they're putting in the game. Okay, so that's all the 832s. I've got all the old ones in my pocket. I need to bag those somewhere else. I'll just put them in my magnet tray for now. Next, we'll move on to the 1032s. Yeah, I mean, trust me, if I could do one pin per movie, I would. I don't have that kind of capital. This one alone has taken enough out of me, so what I'm trying to do with this one is make sure that I'm gonna make it the world of Harry Potter, like the wizarding world of Harry Potter, and then with that have you play through all 7 years of their schooling. So we'll see what I can do with it. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, dude, yeah, of course. Wonka was my first new in box, and that is probably my favorite machine in my collection. Just because, A, Wonka was a huge part of my childhood. So, like, I watched that movie on repeat because what kid doesn't dream about unlimited candy? I watched that movie on repeat, and nowadays it's got so much nostalgia for me alone in the license. I mean, that is enough reason for me to keep it, but then you add in how fun it is to shoot, plus how deep the code is on that. Like, I'm not an amazing player by any means, so it'll take me forever to actually even come close to beating that game. But it gives me something to always work towards and achieve, which is fun and exciting. So Wonka's never gonna leave. I love my Deadpool. That's never gonna leave either, just because it's really such a fun game, and you can really see, like, the creative efforts of the team were just unrestricted with that. There's so much they put into that game, and you can tell. So I got all my 832s done. I'm working on the 1032s. I had a Hobbit as well. Although I sold my Hobbit when the market was high so that I could afford Toy Story when it came out. So I got a good deal on my Hobbit, and used that money to secure Toy Story, which I love. Toy Story gets so much hate from people, and I don't understand it. That game, every person who comes to my house just falls in love with that game. And I mean, mind you, I have a lot of novice players on my league, but even then, I enjoy the hell out of that game. It's fun to shoot. It's fun to play. The code is achievable, so it's not like you step up to it and you feel like you can never ever complete a thing on it. It's just an excellent game all around, and I wish it didn't get so much hate. I think one of the big things that kind of began all that hate was the price when it came out, which, I mean, I agree. I think the price is overkill, for sure. But the fun that you get out of it, it's great. Oh my god, 19K? Jeez. Yep. The Duke Kaboom is just... I mean, sometimes you don't need to like overcomplicate things to make them enjoyable. And the Duke Kaboom ramp is a simplistic design. I mean, the mech is complex, but the jump ramp itself is simplistic in design, but it's implemented really well, and it adds some enjoyability to the game for sure. But yeah, I mean, everyone that comes over just loves Toy Story. I've got a new guy in my league he grew up around pinball and loves that game to death. He's become addicted. Gorin, it's not done yet. It's close to done, as you can tell from the overhead cam. I mean, it's a pinball. Look at it. That's all you need to know. Just one look and you're like, oh, OMG. Kyle made a pinball machine. He doesn't even need to flip it. It just needs to look like one. And we're good. Let's see, let's make sure I didn't put any of the wrong posts in my pocket. Nope. All right, thanks, Goran. I appreciate it. My 20-minute check-ins from Goran. It's got to take a lot, Goran, for you to be jumping between streams all day, every day. I feel like you've got a robot doing it for you. You're like a moderator in 50 different streams out there. A lot of power. Great responsibility. Excuse my hand. Yeah, I'm a big fan of printers. Printers and laptops. I just really wanted to make a pinball machine that's based on a computer, because computers and printers are just so cool. Alright, that's all the 1032s. I do believe, I do declare, there's been a murder in Savannah. These are the longer 832s. And then these here are the longer posts. Wouldn't that be something? It would just be like the whole front of it's just a whole bunch of drawers that you pull out to load in all the different paper sizes. And then you can even have like some secret thing in the back box that you pull out. Ink cartridges. Actually, I'll just make it a functioning printer that looks like a pinball machine. That'd be the way to go. Carl, I've got the rotisserie is pretty much functional. I figured out a way that I'm gonna actually build a brake mechanism for the shaft so I can prevent it from rotating. I'm just waiting on that part to show up. But all in all, it turned out really good. I'm happy with it. There's a dog. Dog cam. Hey, Kirby. And then there's the other dog. They like their little cubbies. Okay. Posts. Posts. Thanks, appreciate it. Once all the designs are like finished for it, I'm gonna post together, or I'm gonna post a forum probably on Pinside about the plans to build it and the cost. The cost is a little high, but I think it's universally gonna be a pretty good design. Alright. Keep piling all my posts in my tray. So we've got all of the posts in place, threaded in place. They're just hand tight for now. Focus. And then I'm gonna start, I suppose I could plop a rubber on some of the slings to make it look more like a pinball machine. But yeah, it's coming along. Can I set this here? I can. Start kind of throwing some rubbers over stuff. So it actually looks like it could be a pinball. A nice Hewlett-Packard pinball machine. This one in the back here I haven't figured out yet. Because right now it's, as you can see, there's like an orbit pass through here. So like the ball comes along here and behind that. I'm thinking that might end up being a little bit too tight. So that already might be a design change that I make, where I push this back a little bit just to give this more space for when the ball's passing through over there. And I also might take out this pass through. Like I did a lot of fine tuning in Visual Pinball to make sure that this actually worked and like jumped over and fed cleanly down to the flipper, and same the other direction. But I think ultimately it's going to be a lot cleaner if it's a solid piece of metal here. So what I'll do is, like, the original intent of this is the room of requirements shot, which is like through the pop bumpers and behind a drop target. Like that. And then I would be able to sense it with proximity sensors here, and then eat it in the subway back here. But what I'm gonna do, I think, is make this a solid piece so that inner orbit's a really clean feed all the time. Push it back like an inch. Use my fat hand. And then right behind this drop target, I'll do a subway entrance. So that way the ball feeds nice and clean all the way around there, and I can still do my room of requirements shot. That would be possibly a mode start or extra balls, or I don't know yet. Haven't figured that out. Not that far ahead. Also, one thing you'll notice is there's not space back here to do that because the outer orbit. I've already altered the design. I realized that my playfield was an inch too short, so this will stick out another inch back here. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Oh. No inserts yet. This one here is going to be just testing the geometry that I came up with and making sure that it all shoots as intended. So this is really just, I've ordered almost all the parts I need. I'm waiting on quite a few things to show up still. But this is going to allow me to assemble it, get all my rails bent so that they feed nice, and then put the flippers in and actually play test it to make sure that it shoots as good as it does in the visual pinball that I'm using for that. I did clear coat myself using a spray gun, a pneumatic spray gun. I have a shop out back that I use. I hope not. If he needs a phone number, just give him a hotline to some legal services around here. How are we doing? We caught up. I think I'm caught up on chat. Appreciate everyone who's here hanging out. Alright, posts are done. I suppose, since everything's in place, I can pop off the thingamajigs and then give it a quick spin for the camera. Pretty sure I secured everything. So there's the bottom side. You can see I got all the T-nuts in place. Some of these posts, depending on like the layout and where the mechs are, I might have to actually like trim the stub off because I might have some like brackets that may overlap it a little bit. I can't remember. Some of these are all going to be just a little bit different, but yeah, that's the bottom side. I've started keeping a list of changes that I need to make to the CAD model based on, like, as I'm going to assemble this, what I find out doesn't fit. And I think there's going to be a lot of that. Because a lot of my designs, I didn't really think to do a tolerance on some of the holes and stuff, which I should have thought of. So, like, for instance, like magnet cores, they're all exactly the size of the core of the magnet, which makes it impossible to get the magnet core and all that stuff to fit. So all those got to be widened out by a couple millimeters, just so that's a good fit. I think my slings are good. I'm sure my switch slots are good. I measured those off of other play fields. Same with my target holes, all those should be good. My pop bumpers, I made a mistake there. Let's flip it back over. So, my pop bumpers, you've got the holes around it, so like your leads for your lamp socket, and then the two pilot holes for the screws. I reversed that, so my screw holes are where my lead holes should be, and my lead holes are where my screw holes should be. And due to the nature of design of the pop bumper, it's not something that you can just like, oh, let me just turn the pop bumper 180 and it should fit. No, that's not how it works. I actually, I have extra pop bumpers laying around, and where did I put that? Oh, we'll go back over to the desk. You can see it wants to rotate on its own, which is also why I need to get that locking mechanism built. So I took a pop bumper assembly, and all I did here was just switch the screws and the leads through the holes, which you're not supposed to do because the holes are sized appropriately based on what's supposed to be going through it. But I managed to make it work, and I'll just do that for now. So let me flip this back top side, and then I'll lock it in place, and then maybe we can start assembling some of the stuff on the top side. So like getting the pop bumpers in place from the top, and getting some of my screws in place for like the sling assemblies, stuff like that. And then I should be able to flip it over and start screwing down some mechs. So 1 second, let me use my phone holder assembly to get this locked back in place. There we go. For my pilot holes, I can't remember which size hole I did. I may have it written down on a piece of paper somewhere. I used 3/32. And that's the pilot holes for number 8 screws. And then Scott told me after the fact that I should start with number 6, and then if those strip out, upgrade to number 8s. So the holes might be a little bit big for 6, I don't know. We'll find out. Yes, it needs an adjustment. It's not that Kyle screwed up, it's that Kyle miscalculated on purpose. Okay. So I can at least start with this pop bumper that I already kind of reconfigured. And go this way. Get that set in place. And then that's the other thing is my tolerances for the pop bumper, like the center hole on that, I need to adjust. Because right now, like I gotta push it in there. I should have like 1 millimeter of clearance around it, I think. Just so it goes in nice and easy. Here, let's venture over to the parts box. We've got all kinds of boxes of parts. Got like gate assemblies, another gate. I got like another gate of a different design here with the magnet above. So there's that control gate. I'm just gonna move some of the stuff out of the way. To get at a pop bumper assembly. Sure. Set this back here. And then for now, might need a nut driver. So I'll loosen those. Not that loose. It's the only problem with the magnetized nut drivers is that they're a pain if you like get it too loose, because then it sucks the nut up inside of the driver. And let's see. Let's pop this all out of here. There we go. Get my washers out of there. So what I need to do here is, like I said, swap the screws with the leads, just so that it works with the holes that I already have cut in here. I'll do that real quick. Pull the cap off. There we go. There's my cap, and then I can pull the whole ring off. Set that there, and then I'm gonna pull this whole skirt and everything off here. Do that. So I just gotta swap the location of that around and drop it. Homebrew pinball is easy. So just take all those, get them loosened out, and then shift it over. And I'm sure there's a reason why the design of this is the way that it is. And I'm just gonna get that started. If I go too far in with it, it starts to flare out the like the sleeve thing here, and then you can't fit the whole skirt assembly over it. So I just get these started in here for now, and then when I screw them down into place, everything will be nice and tightly held together. So again, just get that just started in there, and now I can put my lamp thing back in place in the incorrect holes, and then we take the skirt assembly, make sure that my holes are lined up correctly. Let's see. Need those there and those there. Okay. So that's in place. And then I should be able to slide this ring assembly back in place. Boom. So that's adjusted for my calculated or miscalculated design. We'll call it a calculated error. Testing myself, that's what it is. So then we can drop this. In this hole. There we go. Now we got both of our pop bumpers kind of in place up there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I suppose I could put the cap back on. I'm just gonna set it over on the table for now. So, with both those in place, I will be curious to see how narrow that shot actually is going to be. Because there's a possibility that could need some adjustment as well. Like if we're kind of at, whoops, we're kind of at flipper right now. I mean, I think it's achievable. Time will tell. In playtesting, time will tell. And give it the just a look-see with a ball kind of in place back there. It might be doable. The only thing that might need to change is this sling post might need to be bumped in like maybe 1/4 of an inch, which I think I can probably get away with. We'll just have to do a tighter rubber on it. So that's the pop bumpers. What else do I need to do from the top side here? I need to put in my screw on my slings. Get that in place. And then I think I can flip it over and start doing stuff like targets, fun stuff like that. Or I should, while I put those screws in for the slings, I should just put my slings in, because why not? Pretty sure these are 632. Yes, they are. Do I have nuts for 632? I have no idea. Probably not. Why would I? You know what else I just realized? Because I'm a dum-dum. I need to put the need to put those in. The locator screws for the pop bumpers. Goran, it is complete. Can't you see? It's got rubbers on it. It's obviously a pinball machine. Duh. Jeez. What an ignorant question. Can't believe you. I can put some rubbers on some stuff though. That's fun. That guy there gets one. And my rubbers are probably also the incorrect size, because why wouldn't they be? What do we need? What do we need? Those are there. That one doesn't need one. This one doesn't need one. This one needs one. And that one needs one there. Why do I have one extra? I don't think any of the other ones need a rubber. I'll just put this down here for now. Boom. Yeah, just 20 minutes. Gorn, why aren't you here yet? We're supposed to be playing this right now. Can't believe you. You know, here I thought we had a commitment that you would be here to play this after 20 minutes of assembly. And you're nowhere to be found. It's quite disappointing. I've seen better. Do better. Alright, we're gonna do the screws back here for the pop bumpers. I need like a little tack hammer or something. Yeah. I mean, if I can do it in an hour, it makes you wonder, why does it take so damn long for manufacturers to pump out games? Jeez. It's easy. Like, I could assemble playfields in my sleep. Duh. Ooh. That hole's a little too big, Kyle. Way to screw it up. That's why we can't have nice things. So I need to add that to my list. Let me pull this one out of here too. Because I'm sure that other hole is going to be the same problem. Make sure. I have not built my ramps. I still have to build a thermoforming machine before I can build my ramps. Which, that's going to be another fun project. Yep, that's the wrong size hole. Darn it. Alright, so I gotta fix that. I mean, it'll be fine for now, but needs to be fixed. I am not going to 3D print a buck. I'm actually going to CNC a buck and then thermoform over it. Let's see, hot bumpers. Bracket mounting. Little hole. 2 big match 5 holes. Boom. A list of stuff I need to change. Building a thermoform will be the simplest thing you've done for this. Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward, I think. I've got a few plans that I've downloaded. I'm gonna do kind of like a hybrid one where people have top vac and some vacuum charged tanks. That way you can get like a really, really good pull. Yeah. So I'm gonna do kind of like both methods in one machine. Yeah, exactly. I would rather CNC the bucks just because like I already have the bucks designed in CAD and they're ready to go for CNC. And then it's just like, you know, stack a bunch of MDF together and CNC it out, and should work in theory, but probably not. There's also the option that I might 3D print some of my ramps to start, just to make sure that they actually kind of work how I intend them to. That's another thing. So let's see, I need, where did I put those other screws? Or, there they are, for the slingshots. We'll get those set in place. And then I'll tack them down in with the hammer. Hope everyone's ready for hammer time. It might be loud, so I do apologize in advance. I'm gonna move my phone. There goes a ball. I'm sure there's a far better way to do this, especially doing it in a rotisserie. I don't like the bounciness. But good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want to risk cracking the playfield, you know? And those going a little bit too easy for my taste. So, might be some modifications to be made here yet. Done with the hammer. I apologize if that was loud. But this is what it's like doing some homebrew work. Woo! Now I can stretch my silicone back out. Oh, you know what I lost? Where'd it go? Ah, easy to find, thank God. The spring for the pop bumper. I've had that thing fall on my carpet so many times, it's impossible. we go. And get that on there. I feel like I should maybe screw it in place. Probably. I'll do both of them at the same time. Woo. Okay. There we go. So I think that's everything that I kind of wanted to do there. I'll screw these in real quick. I might put the camera down, so deal with it. So that worked out fine, swapping the location of the screws versus the lamp. Good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to function. All right. That's good in place. Do the other one. Gotta switch hands. Haven't been squeezing my stress balls and fidget spinner and all that stuff enough to work out the arm muscles. Okay. Both of those should be good. Not quite. Still. They're good enough. This back one isn't quite flush. That'll need to be fixed sometime eventually. Alright, so those are in place. And bend out my lamp leads so those don't fall back through when I rotate it. Alright. Got all those in. Whoops. Yeah, I might need to fix that first. Darn it. Whoop. Let's see. Okay. Rather not do that by hand, but whatever. We're having fun. Come on. All right. Now that's actually second time's a charm. Okay. Much better. Okay. Now I can flip it and see what falls out now. Yep. Rubbers. All right. Suppose I can start getting the pop bumper mix in place. Even if they're loosely in place. Like, one of those screws is definitely going to be impossible to tighten. No, wrong one. Right one. Yeah, those are too loose at the top. Those holes are. All three of them. I can't tighten them down because those screws want to spin. All right. Well, I'll have to figure out something there for those for testing. How about slings? So I can get slings in place. Do I have nuts? Looking like I might have to do some more stuff. Alright, so I gotta do more shopping there. I can screw the mech in place though. So far, holes appear to be lining up correctly. Yeah, I do not have toothpicks. I know, it's weird. Use them, what do they call them? The flossum thingies. There. Well, there's that. I'll have to buy some toothpicks because I do need to secure these in back here eventually. So far, the 3/32 pilot hole size seems to work for the number 6 screws, which is good. I was also worried about number 6 screws, being that they're not actually a wood screw, and the threads are tighter for sheet metal stuff. But apparently that's what the industry uses, is actual sheet metal threaded screws. Hey, look at that. I got some slings. I did it. What else can I pop on there? Possibly throw that in the vuck hole. I can already feel the weight. A lot of weight in this game. It's gonna be heavy. Oh, interesting. I think for the purposes of this being the whitewood and we're just trying to get it playable, toothpick will be fine. I'll shrink the holes for the next whitewood that I cut out. I suppose I could put the room camera back on, since I can't really show a ton with the phone camera, because that takes a hand. Yeah, I got the slings in, just in place. I got to get some 632 nuts. And then I just screwed a vuck in place because I can. And then these are what I'm talking about back here. Whoa, quit flipping on me. So like the screw actually wants to turn when I try to tighten the nuts. Oh, what I really wanted to do was targets. Let's see. This anti-rotation thing isn't working too well now that I've got some weight on here. I need that, need those parts to show up ASAP. Yeah. Let's move this over to this end. See, these little flexible phone tripods are useful for more than one thing. There. So yeah, that's what I wanted to start working on, was target stuff. So I've got all kinds of targets down here that I suppose I can start screwing in place. Let me get this other pop bumper mech out of here. And I'll just thread this loosely into place for now. That way I don't lose the nuts. Alright. That's just held in place for now. Targets. Where do I start? I can start. Let's see, these are rear mount. Those would be for that piece there, which my pilot holes are in the wrong place for. I'm not going to bother with them. I can get these ones in place though. Of course, with my luck, pilot holes are in the wrong place on these too, because these are the anti-sway targets, which I may not need, but I bought them. But because of the profile of the anti-sway bracket on the back here, my holes are setting back a little bit too far. Without that, those would be fine. Same for probably all of those. What can I do with targets? I mean, the holes would have to be moved, the pilot holes. Or I can just try to do it by hand, but I would prefer not to do that without a pilot hole. Well, shoot dang. I'm gonna do some thinking on that. This bigger anti-sway one, maybe that fits where it should. Hey, that one does. Well, I can screw that one in place. Gotta take the little wins. Whoops. Sorry. Just have to deal with the black screen for a second. Okay. That's one target. I did it. I did a thing. I mean, I can try to do these. See what I'm saying? Like my pilot holes are set way back there. Like I could get my screws maybe started. Let's try one. Screws. It wants to pack those back at an angle because that's where my pilot holes are. Oh. I can re-drill pilot holes by hand, but that'll take 5,000 hours. And that's not something I want to do on stream. And like those ones are way off there. You can kind of see how that bracket is. Wait, where am I at? Right there. You kind of see how that bracket's angled up because of the angle of those screws. So that's not really going to work. I will skip those targets for now. Focus. There. I can do these ones. Those fit perfectly where they're supposed to. Just won't be able to do any of the anti-sway brackets right now. Goran, I've been playing it for 30 minutes now. It's so fun. You're really missing out on all the fun that I'm having playing this Harry Potter pinball machine. Ow. So good. It's probably the funnest game ever. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's better than any Keith Allen trash that's out there right now. JK. Hey, there's 3 targets in place. Hey! Where else am I using these targets? I've got 3 more of them. I know one goes here. I know one goes here. Where do the other 2 go? Who designed this thing? There we go. One goes here. And I think maybe I ordered an extra in case the anti-sway one didn't work. Something like that. I'm too far in. I'm gonna retheme it per your request, but it's gonna be a Captain Sandy pin, just so you know. What's up? How's it going, Alan? Hope you're doing well. Cabinet isn't even, I haven't started the cabinet. That's gonna be a custom design for that. I think a Captain Sandy pin would be horribly amusing. Also, I'm caught up. I can't believe that whole mess that went down on her boat. That was just crazy. I'm just putting 1 screw in each target for now. Someone's gonna have to remind me to put the rest in eventually. Rocco! How's it going? Vil Coleman, V Gates. That's all I know. I used to know more German, but I haven't been to high school in a long time. Me too. I can't wait to actually flip it and see how fun it is to shoot. I have all kinds of ideas for code and experiences in creating that magic that everyone would expect from a Harry Potter pin. I'm full of ideas. Hopefully I'm full of execution. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Justice for Camille. Ah, that was horrible. They're both terrible people. So yeah, I can't do anything with those until I drill some more pilot holes. I'll just plop them in for now. One goes there. One goes there. And one goes there. And luckily those kind of hold in place because of that anti-sway bracket. I'm sure that could be a thing. We'll see what we can make happen. I should have just all kinds of boat show emotes. Then 2 people can use them. It'd be so exciting. So, for those of you just here, these, the stern targets that have the anti-sway bracket built into it, you can kind of see like the anti-sway bracket on the back there. Because of its L shape, it doesn't fit, well, I mean it fits. It fits in the holes that I have designed for the targets, but my pilot holes are made for normal targets. And with these anti-sway brackets, you can see how it pushes those holes out front like 1/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna have to re-drill pilot holes for now. I think long term I need to deepen these target holes to account for that, because with that bracket on the back it pushes my target further forward into the shot geometry by that 1/8 of an inch or whatever that is, and it's supposed to be kind of back where the holes are at. So I'll, in the CAD file, deepen those holes. Actually, let me make note of that. Head to the computer. I suppose I could do a better job being the camera guy here, but I'm only one person. So I need, for my flame targets, make holes. To account for anti-sway. I can't type, I have fat fingers. Top bumpers, bracket, mounting holes. All too big, match sling holes. Alright. My changelog. I'm sure you guys don't want to stare at my changelog all day. I'll bring back up my visual documentation because I've been working on putting this together for fun. Alright, you kind of maybe with that one get an idea of the flow and geometry. I think we'll leave it on that one for now. Okay, so I got the targets in place that I can put in place for now. Oh, bring my hand cam back over. Ugh. So, making progress. I need to, what's next? I could do maybe some drop targets. Do I have any extra? So I've got that one extra regular stand up, and I'm pretty certain I don't have a spot for that. Looking over the playfield, I think that's just an extra. And then I've got this bag of extra narrows that are rear mount. Oh, so those are supposed to be in the back of this little reaction chamber. But of course, the holes that I drilled on those were for the wrong bracket. Because why couldn't I do anything the way I'm supposed to from the beginning? So those will also need to be... We're good. We're live. I need to clamp things in place on this table. Let's see. It's gonna be the ideal way to get this up here. Nothing happened. Nobody needs to worry about a thing. We're back in place. Just a few parts on the ground. Alright. I know, everyone's heart probably just sank. Let's get the camera back. Maybe there. Close enough. Where'd my phone go? It was Captain Sandy. There's my phone. Alright, so what happened there? So I built this rotisserie and I just have it loosely setting on this card table where it's pretty much right on the edge. on both sides. And all this back and forth and me pushing my gut into the rotisserie eventually pushed it off. But everything's okay. Everything should be okay down here. Okay. We're good. So what do I need to do next? I can't do the rest of those narrow targets. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a sixth. And that sixth one is supposed to go right there. Supposed to go right there. But that bracket also will likely need pilot holes. So there's that. Take that out. It is probably Camille's fault. That would be my guess. Can't do targets. So what's the next best thing? I can put drop targets in. I can put the, let's get this rear sling in back here. My switch is in front of the rubber. Okay. Better. Just gotta fold that back there. Okay. I'll get that screwed in place. I just need to pay attention to where the edges of this thing are at all times. Also, I need to bring in some wood clamps to actually clamp it to the table so it's at working height and it's not at risk of moving. I really wish my my parts would get here sooner than later so I can build my rotisserie lock so it doesn't want to rotate on me while I'm trying to do this stuff. Here we go. So that one's in place. Those I need to do the toothpick trick on. What else can I put in place? I can get out some drop targets. Bring the phone with me. True. That I don't need right now. Spinners and gates, so nothing really in that box. Go through the other box of fun. A whole bunch of mechs that are bubble wraps. It's gonna be a pain. What is this? That might be either a drop target or a vuck. That's probably vucks, I think. That's a flipper. That might be a drop target. It might be the other drop target. What is this one? Also a drop target? How many smart drops do I have? Yep, 3. There should be 3 of them. Okay. All the rest of these, I've got $3. $3 to give. Those are some reset knockdowns for the 3-bank drop target. And that's the extra flipper plates that I need. Because I've got a whole bunch of flippers. But some of them are the wrong plate. So I'm going to set that there. Then we're going to go get some scissors. Alright, I'm back with scissors. And I got my oven preheating for dinner. All the tape on these things. Oh yeah, some good ASMR. Ah, hope you guys like that. Oh. Okay. Nothing else in the bubble wrap. Sweet. Okay, so there is one, and it is also sealed in a bag. Pinball life, man, they package the crap out of their stuff. So this is a smart drop. And I've got a few of them. Ooh, and the holes line up. Nice. That's a happy day. Cut out the rest. Din din for me, I am making my own pizzas. Mini pizzas. Since we've got this crazy snowstorm coming through, I decided to make my own dinner tonight. It's really more of an ice storm than anything. You guys getting snow? Any of you guys on the stream? Ooh, I'd go for some curry right now. Actually, I could really go for some chicken pad thai. That sounds good. Can Rod come and make me food? Alan, you don't miss it? We're supposed to get like a 1/4 inch of freezing rain, followed by 2 to 4 inches of snow. Come on back to Michigan. It'll be a blast, I guarantee it. Who wouldn't want to live here? 46. I don't even know what the temperature is outside right now. It's probably like 15 degrees. If I were to guess. Alright. Smart drops. Assembled. So that one there. That one goes there. And this one will take a little bit of refinement to get to fit where I want it to go. But that's in due time. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these two right here, they're ready to go. They can be screwed in place. But my cluster of all kinds of mechs back here, this drop won't fit where it should because of the reset bracket. So I actually, in one of my sheet metal orders, designed a new bracket that sets that reset coil backwards a bit so it's not interfering with anything. Because when this is all assembled, it's just one gigantic mess of coils. You've got 2 pop bumpers, a sling, drop target, and then in front of it here, going to be a 3-bank of resettable drops, and that is going to be one giant mess of fun. Can't wait to wire that. I'm also going to custom build those 3-bank drops because I want them to be smart drops. And by custom build, I mean assemble an existing mech that Pinball Life carried all the parts for. It's the, you can kind of see all the parts there. It's one of the 3-bank assemblies from Hobbit. And they carried everything I need to assemble it. So I bought everything I needed while I could, and then this will be fully individually resettable and all that stuff. Oh, that would be where one of my fat targets is supposed to go. But it's supposed to be a backwards mount, and I don't have one of those here. Let me check my spare box. I mean, at the very least, I can drill out those rivets and re-rivet it so it's a rear mount. That's what I got in here. Ooh, there's an old rear mount. Can at the very least clean up for testing. I actually want it to be a square. Well, I've got 2 of these yellow rear mounts, so I could, if I wanted to, put an old target in here for now, just for testing the shots. Oh, but I'm back to my original problem. My holes. Whatever file I used for these holes had a different bracket on it. So I need to drill those holes out. And I also need to trim the skirt on the pop bumper ring there, so that doesn't interfere. I also need to trim the pop bumper ring itself so it doesn't hit this. So that's some modification I gotta do. Doing a lot of modifying existing stuff. So let's start getting these drop targets in place. Where's a good spot for me to... Maybe there? We'll do for now. I can probably do the same with these as I was doing with the other stuff. Just put enough screws to hold it in place for now, so that I can flip it all back over. Okay. Oh, that's right. I got a flipper mech that's supposed to sit over some of this too. What a mess. A lot of modification required. You can see there's holes there and there for a flipper mech, and that is probably going to be in the way. I'll have to design a different finger for that, and then I probably need to trim some of my flipper bracket. Which side are we at here? Other one. Yeah, so like that ain't gonna fit where it's supposed to go right now, because I've got that stern target in place, and that's going to be replaced by a different one. I gotta cut the stub off that post there, and I gotta design a different reset finger right there. Lots to do. Alright, so those two are in place. I can't do this third one right now. But I can at least flip it over and take a look at it. I think everything is in place, I hope. Might be some stuff that falls. Okay. to move my locking mech. Since it wants to rotate towards me, let me set this down. All right. So that's some progress. Got targets in place. Got some of the drops in place. That's exciting. Where's the other one? There it is. We got some drops in place. Pops are in. Slings are in. Everything needs more screws. You kind of start to see it shaping up. So from your left flipper, there's kind of what the shots look like. You can even sneak one over the sling over that way. And then from your right flipper, and see up that way. And same thing, another shot over the top of the sling. Making progress. And I think with that, I'm gonna call it a day for today's work. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Hopefully you laughed, you cried, you maybe felt like hugging someone today. I'm gonna find someone else to raid. We'll go from there. Who to raid? Thanks, Alan. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm finally starting to make progress. I had to wait for a lot of things. Like after the CNC cutting, I had to wait for a new spray gun to show up with the correct size tip for spraying clear. Then I had to spray the clear and do 3 coats of that and wait between coats and then wait for it to cure for a whole week. And then worked on putting together a list of everything I need to buy and putting that list out there. It's been a lot. Turn off the room mic. Yeah, it's been a lot. I mean, I've filled out so many different charts and put together so many files with bombs for everything. And I've been putting together like this visual documentation that shows what the layout looks like out the ring square forms. Kind of starting to map out what the flow looks like. Different diverter mode states. Trying to understand that. And then this is the different positions of the sorting hat and how the feeds will work on that. There's a whole bunch of different ways that the sorting hat can divert the ball. Yeah, Hogwarts wasn't built in a day, although it may have been. They used magic. Subway entrances. So all of your reds are entrances and all the greens are exits. And then there's some that double as both an entrance and exit. Map of the whole subway and how that all works. Putting together parts diagrams figuring out what posts I need and what stuff I need. Or screw stuff. Wild Dog Arcade. Good to know. Thank you. Thank you. Stole a page out of JJP's book, literally, then modified it for what targets are. Type of targets I need. And then up at the very top, this is pretty cool. Trying to map out like all the different shots out of the shooter. Right shooter lane, tons of different shots you can hit out of it. And then the left shooter lane, which is the wand lane, where you can engage the magnet, do some spell casting. So the goal with the magnet here is gonna be like some skill shots to learn spells and stuff like that. So use the magnet to flick the ball at like a certain playfield. Get, you know, 1 of 3 targets or stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of. I'm gonna try to integrate the mag rail a lot. Yeah. Anywho, thanks for joining, those of you. There, thank you for following Coyote 12. We did things. So, like I said, thank you to all who hung out. I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Stay safe if you're dealing with the weather. Yeah, stay warm, stay healthy.